Hello and welcome to week 2. I just want to say great work in week 1. Really enjoyed all of your contributions. Hopefully, and I do think you guys got a lot out of the differences between Weinberger and McManus and their approach to this problem. One approached more of a design problem, one more as a human problem. It's definitely something we're going to explore, and I think you were very thoughtful about how you interpreted that. So nice stuff. I also don't know if I mentioned, the book, Understanding Context, is going to be there to kind of fill in some gaps, and we're going to be very practical and hands on most of the time, but please do refer to and understand the benefit of seeing that bigger picture that the author goes through. I do think another good thing is you seem to get a hang of mural, which is great. I know with this many students, you don't get in each other's way as much, so that's fantastic. If you look at, if you did take a peek at some of the stuff from last class, it really gets pretty packed with 20 some odd people there. So hopefully we have a nice, easy way of using mural, and I think you also are really good at having some empathy for what we're trying to accomplish, which is to help people not feel lost. And just keep that in mind as you go through the class, because that's definitely going to play a role in the decisions you make later, understanding of how do people wayfind. I will say there is a quirk on mural. Hopefully it'll go away, but you see these little floating comment bubbles. Sometimes they get detached, but so if there are bugs with mural, hopefully don't let it throw you off too much. I'm keeping track and try to fix things. So let's get to week 2. So this is our beginning. We're going to get our data this week, and that's the bottom level of what we need to work with. So this is due, by the way, on Monday. So I'd get an early start on this, because one thing about data is that I think many are not used to how a data is modeled. So first of all, let's experiment with what a data model is. And a good example of a data model should be popping up shortly is Twitter. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. So the first kind of exercise here is to go into Twitter, look at these different fields that many people don't know of. Most people in Twitter are used to hashtags, and we'll get into hashtags many weeks ahead of from today. Here we're actually just interested in what is captured within a tweet. And the reason why we're using Twitter, many of you, by the way, you don't have to sign up for Twitter to do this. Twitter is just an amazingly open database of really interesting stuff. So just being able to find stuff in it, however, is a big challenge. So that's your first exercise. So I'm asking you to come up with a query. When you get that query, just go ahead and drop it into, take the URL and just paste it, copy paste in here, or drop the URL in here so we can take a look and tell us maybe what is interesting about this query to you. Now, in terms of a data model, this may be unfamiliar because someone just made it up. Here's another example of a data model, and this is iTunes. This is the way it organizes or has data concerning a musical track, a track of music. So little bit of new concepts maybe for some of you. This is what we're trying to get this week is a set of data with a really pretty good data model. So what I'm trying to hope for you to do is to go and find one that someone already built so we can get a jump start. That being said, once your data is owned by you, you can do whatever you want with it. You can add new columns, you can merge it with other data. It's really up to you. I am going to go through this journey with you. So if you look at this particular example, my data is going to be around perfume ingredients. So while that's not an infinite amount of data, it's still enough that I wanted to learn and be able to organize this a little bit more effectively. So I'm going to show you how to go to a site and just scrape the data. That's where this video comes in. Now, you don't have to go through this. You can just go to Airtable, which is where your project's going to be done this week. So you will sign up for Airtable and get used to Airtable. It's a really terrific product. Helps quite a bit in managing data. They also have tons of examples. So they have an area where it's just like, here's some starters. So you're welcome to go use one of those. I will say you might have to work a little harder with those to fix it up and get it ready for us. So it's not an instant win, but I will help you in determining that. This custom way is using import IO, which is also something you have to sign up for. Again, it's free to go and scrape a site, and it's pretty fun, so I'd give it a try. You can also go to some of these areas, which are publicly available data. APIs, not all of them are useful. We want to avoid data. Please, by the way, read through the details on this assignment, because there's some gotchas, some things I want you to avoid. So make sure to read that. But yeah, these are very good places to go look as well. The main thing is to find a subject that you're interested in. So I can give you some advice if you, say, for example, had a data set of data that was around, say, movies, and it was the top 10 movies of all time. I would just say, have a data set about all movies, and then we'll figure out later how to narrow it down to 10 of them. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, I'm here to help. Here's a couple of examples. One is my table, not actually as much data as we would like. We'd like to get a lot of more descriptive fields on this, much like we looked at with the iTunes, what it talked about a piece of music. But this one is actually pretty good if you want to take a look. This is about coffee. There are some structural things that I'd change, but just a good example if you wanted to take a quick look. So that being said, this is a great week to start experimenting, start querying, and find some data. All right, thanks.